Beautiful ways to you, incredible being of the more. This is the first video on the mystical ones. These mystical ones have nourished my roots and my faith, motivate and inspire me now, and they have for many, many years. It keys their sacred insights they share and their ways of living each day. Divinely inspiring to Rev, to say the least. They demonstrate we are multi-dimensional beings. Most of them have lived their faith that took them beyond this 3D cube to the mystical more. And this mystical one I feel very close to is Saint Mariam of Jesus Crucified, also known as the Little Arab. I was teaching at the Maria Stein Shrine a few years ago, and she appeared up in the dome of the ceiling, yepper, watching over Rev. Mariam was a witness over and over each day of the invisible world, which is not really invisible. Most people do not believe in this world, and some do believe but do not experience it or see it because of the sticky glue of that 3D cube keeps folks from these ways of the more. Mariam called herself the Little Nothing. It was really a profound expression of her being that allowed her to penetrate the unreachable depth of divine love, where she found her joy and her delight. Finding her joy, her delight, and being wrapped in divine life through her faith is one amazing place to be and do each day. Calling herself the Little Nothing reminds me of meeting entities that are in such oneness with all that is, they have no name. That there's a power thought right there. They are pure love. They do not need a name. RevNed is not my name, but a name some beautiful sun dancing friends gifted me years ago. It was joyful and sacred and very, again, meaningful to Rev. I have no desire for my name to get out there, whatever that means. I love being a vessel of God's and the much more. I could make many videos on just this mystical one, Mariam, the mystical one. So I'm only sharing a soup spoonful, very important, soup spoon. She is a Palestinian who was born on January 15th, 1846 in the village of Ebilin near Nazareth. And she died in August of 1878. Her parents had lost 12 boys early on, so they walked to Nazareth to ask Mama Mary to give them a girl who they would name and dedicate to Mariam. Then they walked back to Ebilin. That's about a 140-mile round trip on foot. Her parents died when she was a toddler, and from early on she showed her devotion to Yeshua, to God, to Mary, in such mystical ways. An uncle took her in, and at 13 years of age, her uncle arranged a marriage for her, which she refused. It was part of the culture back then. And she cut her hair and placed her hair on this tray to reject the marriage. Yes, her uncle became full of fury, beat her, and placed her among the servants of the house. Then a young Muslim servant man tried to convert her to Islam. She said, "I am the spouse of Christ." He pulled out his sword and slashed her throat, dragged her body to a back alley to die. Mystical time alert here. A lady dressed in blue, Mama Mary, picked her up, took her to her cave, and nursed her back to health. The wound she had received should have killed her, but God intervened. This was like 40 days of healing in this cave where Mother Mary took her. And yes, Mother Mary made this sacred soup that nursed her back to life, to health again. I've heard and read that many people have been brought back to life, to health with this mystical soup, and some are not Catholic. Mama Mary told her what would happen in the rest of her life with her deep faith in Yeshua. Mama told her, "You will never see your family again. You will go to France where you will become a religious. You will be a child of Saint Joseph before becoming a daughter of Saint Teresa, a Carmelite, who will receive the habit of Carmel in one house. You will make your profession in a second, and you will die in a third at Bethlehem. Before her entry into being a religious, a sister, an order, she was rejected a few times. She was hardly educated and way too mystical for most people. She left the Order of the Sisters of St. Joseph because of being too mystical. She would also have problems early on with the Carmelite order because of all her mystical ways. This is common for the mystical ones to be persecuted and mocked by their peers and sometimes by those in authority, but it is a critical part of their mystical journey. Many know say St. Mariam is probably the most gifted saint because her life, her daily life, was so mystical. She had amazing ecstasies, prophetic visions and knowledge. She would levitate. She had intimate apparitions with Mama Mary and other saints. Yes, she even had the stigmata, the wounds of Christ. The bleeding wounds generally appeared during Lent and on Fridays following her deep, mystical, ecstatic experiences. She lived and breathed what Rev has taught for years, over 4 decades. Every breath is sacred, and every step is sacred. She could bilocate. She experienced angelic and demonic possession, which most precious souls do not understand, for purification. The demonic entities begged to leave her because of her divine love for God and her absolute humility that made them shake and shiver. Her humility, the angels celebrated. Maybe more than any other saint, she was so connected to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. Her innocence was such a beautiful thing that was wrapped in a divine mystical simplicity. And she also experienced the transfiguration of the heart, a piercing of the heart with divine joy wrapped around it. What if you had a friend, you walked outside and you looked up, and she, or he, is floating at the treetops in complete ecstasy and oneness with God. Thank you, Skyfuls, for being here. We will see you next time as we discuss another mystical one of the more glorious ways to you wrapped in beautiful blessings. Thank you for being here. Till next time, blessings.